Welcome back to K24 Daily Brief, where it is what's on, of course, the power of 24. And we'll be giving you the latest regarding what is making headlines in the local news. For now, I'll be taking you through, together with my colleague, that's Samuel Joroge, on what is happening, of course, what is making headlines today, right here, right now.
Absolutely. Kicking us off is Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko will today be questioned by officers from the Kenya Revenue Authority for failure to remit more than 4.5 billion Kenya shillings in taxes. Now, according to KRA, Nairobi and 6 other counties failed to remit 13 billion, and the claims arise from tax deducted and which was never remitted by the county governments. The taxman is also going after the governors to recover tax due from payments made to county service providers and contractors. The 7 governors are among the first batch of leaders expected to appear before the Tax Dispute Resolution Division based at the Ushuru Pension Towers in Upper Hill, Nairobi. The other 6 counties on KRA's radar are Migori, Homa Bay, Turkana, Kilifi, Murang'a and Kiambu. The taxman is claiming a collective 8.8 billion from the 6 counties.
All right, and of course, moving on, Kenya Airways has formally withdrawn its proposal to be allowed to run Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Now, in a statement issued on Wednesday, Kenya Airways said the decision was occasioned by the National Assembly's move to adopt a report recommending nationalization of the carrier, a move they have previously said they support but not necessarily agree with. Under the plan, KQ had wanted to be allowed to run JKIA, arguing that the facility was poised to significantly shore up their earnings and reduce their operating costs. This proposal, however, did not sit down well with the Kenya Airports Authority.
Right. Those are some developing elements or angles to that particular story that has been, at the center of news coverage for the better part of this year. Now, moving on is that the High Court in Kerugoya has declined to stop the execution of a landmark judgment in which it held that grandchildren are not entitled to inherit property owned by their grandparents. Justice Lucy Gitari held that for grandchildren to be entitled to a share of their grandparents' estate, they must prove they were being maintained by the grandparent before death. However, the grandchildren can get a share if the grandparents had made a legal, oral or written will stating so. Now, the judge was ruling in a succession case where Purity Muthoni sought a share of the estate owned by her late grandfather, Kirungi Karani. Muthoni had argued that her late mother, Meli Wamboi, was a daughter to Karani and therefore they should be given her share.
Interesting story there, of course, quite an insight there. Now, this will definitely be something that a lot of grandchildren will take note from and use it in their advantage in future, just to be informed, isn't it? Absolutely. And for now, we're going to be giving you the latest with regard to international news, where more than 100 demonstrators clashed with police near a South African-owned supermarket in the Nigerian capital on Wednesday as resentment simmered over attacks on foreign-owned shops in South Africa. Demonstrators burned tires and hurled rocks outside a mall in Abuja, where a branch of the ShopRite supermarket is located, before being repelled by a dozen police officers. Now, security was ramped up around South African businesses across Nigeria on Wednesday following a spate of reprisal attacks. Police have said stores operated by ShopRite, telecoms giant MTN and other South African firms had suffered looting and vandalism in several Nigerian cities. Of course, this is as we continue to explore xenophobia in South Africa.
Right, and elsewhere is that British MPs inflicted a fresh defeat on Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Brexit exit on Wednesday, approving in principle a law that could stop him taking Britain out of the European Union without a deal next month. The House of Commons voted by 329 to 300 in favor of a draft bill that could delay Brexit for 3 months. Now, although it still must pass further stages to become law. Johnson had earlier warned that he would call an early election on October October 15th if the legislation went ahead, insisting Britain must leave the EU as planned on October 31st with or without a divorce deal with Brussels.
All right, moving on with regard to what's happening in the Bahamas, where Hurricane Dorian is expected to bring a life-threatening storm surge up the U.S. East Coast after causing widespread destruction in the Bahamas. Residents from the U.S. state of Florida all the way up to Virginia have been warned to listen to emergency advice as the Category 2 hurricane slowly moves north. Meanwhile, Bahamian Prime Minister Hubert Minnis confirmed that the storm had so far killed 20 people, warning that the number will likely rise as search and rescue operations expand. The damage is only starting to be fully revealed now that the storm has passed.
Now, a South African court has set aside an earlier decision to impound an Air Tanzania plane. The plane, an Airbus 220-300, had been prevented from taking off from Johannesburg's Tambo International Airport on August 24th because of a court injunction. A farmer had sought the order, saying he was owed the equivalent of 1.3 billion shillings in compensation for his land that was nationalized decades ago by the Tanzanian government. In the 1980s, Tanzania nationalized a massive privately owned bean and seed farm, seizing everything, including equipment, 250 cars and 12 small planes. The farmer has been fighting for years to get the outstanding amount.
Interesting story there, of course. And that is what is making headlines on the international front. Now bringing you back closer home, where we're going to be giving you the latest regarding what is happening where you are. Remember, the hashtag is K24 Daily Brief. Interact with us. Tell us what is happening where you are as we ask the same question to our correspondents from the respective counties. We've got Kigodho right now from Nakuru County, who is going to be giving us the latest regarding where he is. Good morning to you, Kigodho. What is happening where you are right now?
Good morning, Shiksha. Once again, we come back to you with the news of Mau evictions, and it dates back to 1978, 1965 and 1988, whereby some of these people were given ultimatums of 2 days to vacate this land, and after that they were never compensated, neither were they settled in any land that was supposed to maybe accommodate them. It is an issue that only K24 has been covering with in-depth knowledge and with investigations that we are also doing to make sure that this issue is covered in all directions. Now joining me are some of the residents of Molo, Kamwingi, and also what we call a Salama village that was formed after the evictions of 1988. These people have lived there since the eviction. Some were born in Mau Forest and they grew there up to 35 years. Were they compensated? What did the government say? And what has the current government done to make sure that there is compensation? Karibu sana babangu, na pengine utaanza na jina na mahali unatoka, na pengine ulipotoka pale Mau ni nini kilitendeka?
Kwa majina yangu ni Geoffrey Geshohe. Kwa wakati huo mimi naishi Elbagon, lakini mimi ni msaliwa wa Marioshoni Forest. Huko ndiko mzazi wangu mama alisaliwa na mimi nikawa nimesaliwa pale mwaka wa 63. Mwaka wa 1988 ilifika wakati ambapo serikali ilituondoa sisi ambao tulikuwa tunaishi kule forest, ikatuondoa na ikatupa notice ya miaka mitatu ya siku 3 ili tuweze kutoka forest. Wakati ule DC wa Nakuru alikuwa anaitwa Anguka. Alisema ataanguka na mtu kama hatutatoka katika eneo hiyo kwa siku 3. Ilipofika siku 3 hatukuwa na lingine. Sisi tu tulitoka bila kujua ni wapi tulikuwa tunaenda, lakini tunashukuru Mungu kwamba tulienda tukahamia, watu wengi walihamia Elbagon. Igawaje kuna wale ambao walikuwa wametoka hata wa Banti Forest, wengi walikuja Elbagon. Kuja tu Kamwingi namna hiyo, kuja tu Njoro, Moro, na wengine wako tu hapa Ndondori. So wakati tulifukuzwa, mashule iliharibiwa. Si ati tulikuwa kama watu 60, tulikuwa mamia wa wakazi ambao walikuwa wanaishi pale, mamia ya watu. Kwa hivyo tukaenda tauni mbalimbali na tukawa watoto wetu waliadhika sana kwa sababu masomo pale ilirudi nyuma. Yale mashule ambao tulikuwa tunasomea yalifunjwa. Ile mimea ilikuwa kwa shamba mwaka huo ilikatakatwa. Tulikuwa na mahindi, tulikuwa na viazi, lakini wale wafanyikazi wa forest waliamuliwa wakata ile mahindi.
Pengine mlipewa pesa za kuweza kuanzisha maisha ama pengine mkapewa kipande cha ardhi cha kuweza kuishi baada ya kufurushwa?
Hatukupewa chochote. Ni kutishwa tu, tulitishwa tuondoke kwa rasima. Hakuna kitu tulipewa na hakuna pahali tuliambiwa tuhame papa twende pale.
Na kwa sasa serikali ipo katika hali ya kuweza kuwafurusha wale ambao walibaki kwenye msitu wa Mau, na huenda kukawa na watu ambao watapewa fedha ama watapewa fedha kwa kufidiwa kwa sababu ya hasara ambayo watakupitia pale ndani. Je, mnafikiria nyinyi mnafaa pia kupewa hayo malipo?
Sisi tunaunga serikali mkono 100% kwamba watu watoke eneo ya Mau kwa sababu huko ndiko chemichemi za maji zinatoka, na hiyo ndio ilikuwa sababu ya sisi kutolewa kule. Kwa hivyo wale walirudi kupewa yale mashamba ambapo tulikuwa tunaishi, tukaondolewa na hao wakarudishwa. Inafaa kwamba serikali isiregee katika jambo hili, watu watoke msituni kama vile tulitolewa, na kama kuna kufidiwa, sisi hatukatai wafidiwe, lakini sisi tuna demand kutoka kwa serikali kwamba sisi ndio tulikuwa wa kwanza kuondolewa katika zile forest, kwa hivyo tufidiwe tukiwa wa kwanza. Either tupewe pahali ya kuenda kwa sababu hatukupata pahali ya kuenda, mashule iliharibiwa, lakini baadaye wakaja wakajenga yale mashule. Tena ningesema hivi kwamba Nakuru tuko na viongozi, na tukiwa na viongozi ni vema viongozi wa Nakuru wanene mambo ya Nakuru na Narok. Lakini wakati huu tunaona kwamba wale watu wanateta na wananena ni watu ambao wametoka Kericho, viongozi wa Kericho, ni watu ambao wametoka Keio. Sasa tunashindwa sisi kama wakaji wa Nakuru. Sisi hatuna viongozi wetu ambao wanaweza tulilia sisi, waingilie na waongee na serikali kwamba sisi tufidiwe. Hiyo ndio swali letu.
Kwa haraka sana kakangu, ulikuwa mmoja wa wale watu ambao walitolewa pale Mau na miaka iliyopita. Pengine hali ilikuwa vipi na kwa sasa hali yako imekuwa vipi?
Mimi naitwa Johnson Kamuri Murugami na mimi ni mmoja wa wale ambao walifurushwa 1988 kutoka Likia Forest. Na hali yetu ilikuwa mbaya sana kwa sababu siku 3. Kwanza sisi hatukupewa 3, wengine ndio walipewa 3, sisi tulipewa 2. Tukaambiwa by today, kesho saa 12 tusikuta mtu hapa na DC anguka. Kwa hivyo tuliteseka sana. Wazee walikuwa wakongwe, mama zetu walikuwa wakongwe, mtu hajui ataenda wapi, na hivyo vijiji ni vijiji vya enzi ya wakoloni. Kwa hivyo mtu hakujua ataenda juu ama ni chini, lakini hiyo ilikuwa shida ya serikali, lakini tulitii. Na tuliteseka sana, watoto hawakuendelea na shule. Wakati huu ninasikia kuna watu wanalia watoto wao wanafukuzwa shule na wanataka kuendelea, na hiyo ni haki ya watoto wetu. Lakini serikali ya wakati ule, na ndio bado iko saa hii, hiyo serikali ya Moi haikujali watoto wetu wataenda kusomea wapi. So most of us watoto wetu hawakuendelea na shule kwa sababu masomo yalifika pale. Hakuna mahali ya kupeleka mtoto, hata chakula hauna, mahindi imefyekwa, hauna chochote, hauna mbele wala nyuma, unalala kwa mtaro. Kwa hivyo tuliteseka sana, na mababu zetu walizikwa forest. Mahali hapo ndipo tulizaliwa. Mahali mimi nilizaliwa baada ya kutolewa, kufukuzwa, bila chochote, bila any compensation, bila kujaliwa kama nitakuwa mgonjwa ama nitakufa nizikwe wapi ama ni nini. There's nobody who cared. Kwa hivyo tulifukuzwa kama wanyama. So hadi wakati huu sisi hatuulizi maswali mengi na hatuna chuki na mtu yeyote, watu wote ni wa Kenya. Lakini kama kweli serikali inajali masilahi ya watu wake, kwa sababu hakuna mtu mweusi na mwingine mfupi au mrefu, wote ni wananchi wa Kenya. Pahali mimi nilitolewa, after 5 years kukaletwa mwingine akapewa shamba ambaye nilikuwa mimi ninalelewa. Kwa nini mimi nilibaguliwa? So kama hayo ni mashamba, basi mwenye shamba angekuwa ni mimi, na kama sio shamba, hakuna mtu ana haki ya kukiremu ati ni kwake kwa sababu alipewa title ya shamba langu. Kama haikuwa forest, tulidanganywa basi ilikuwa forest. So we are claiming ni lazima tufidiwe na tuangaliwe masilahi yetu tukiwa wa kwanza, kwa sababu mimi nilitolewa zaidi ya huko, tulikuwa tumekaa zaidi ya miaka 70 mababu zetu walikufia huko. Sisi ni wazaliwa wa huko Lake Forest. So ni lazima tunaomba serikali kama wale watashughulikiwa kwanza itushughulikie ndio iende ikashughulikie party 2. Sisi ndio party 1.
Njoroge, a very emotive issue together with Shiksha Arora, something that we have covered over the past 1 month in this area. And I understand our very own Dan Kaburu is in Mau, and he's going to give us a comprehensive coverage of whatever is happening. These are some, just a little number, just 3 of them who were evicted from Mau Forest. And we will follow this story until we get the depth of this issue, because it ranges back to 1963, 1978, and 1988, 1998, and now to 2015 and 2017. Then we come to 2019. My cameraman is John Wangombe. My name is Kigodo Mwangi. I take you back to Shiksha Arora and Sam Njoroge for more briefing.
Thank you very much, Kigotho, for that update from, of course, Nakuru, giving us the latest regarding what is happening, where he is. So I'm sure we'll be linking up with him at a later time. For now, we're going to be taking you directly to what is happening when it comes to matters health.
Absolutely. Where Cabinet Secretary Health, that is Cicely Kariuki, is this morning spearheading a consultative forum to just look into some of the emerging issues, especially when it comes to rolling out of health programs, not only in Kenya, but in the region. So let's cross over to this event and listen in to what health stakeholders have to say.
And so in the last few years, and as Dr. mentioned in his speech, Kenya has prioritized 4 key areas that we're going to be pursuing as a nation. So in this work, I'd like to recognize the presence of our CS for Health, Madam Cicely Kariuki. Welcome to you, Madam CS and the team. So as I was saying, Kenya has prioritized 4 key areas that we're going to be focusing on in the period for development. And we've looked at manufacturing, affordable housing, food security, and universal healthcare. But for me, it's really important and to add to the fact that all the other 3, if we're looking at affordable housing, manufacturing, food security, none of those can be met outside of considerations for what universal healthcare actually means, particularly at community level, and looking at the role that healthcare really takes in terms of ensuring a healthy and growing environment. We must then include the voice of the Kenya Health Federation in a full discussion about the agendas that Kenya is trying to achieve as a country. And so we've taken on that role, and I'm proud to say that that work has gone on quite well. And we've been able to understand, to work to have that holistic approach to achieving the Big 4. But if we look at the region, then we start to see that we're looking at also Goal 3 of the SDGs, and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development also looks at achieving similar goals. And for us, we see it as opportunities for investors and for the growth of private sector, even as we, as not just as a nation and as a region and as a world, start to set those as priorities. For us in Africa, we have about 250 million plus population that is actually in need of quality and affordable healthcare. We see then opportunity for innovation, for medical solutions that will reach the underserved at the bottom of the pyramid, financial solutions to reduce the reliance on out-of-pocket payments, which we know are a big burden, as well as research and development of lasting solutions to some of the long-standing challenges that we've faced as a continent. We are now in the era where we are talking about the continental free trade area. And it's really imperative that the East Africa Health Federation looks at how we can position ourselves, even as we grow into an Africa-wide market, and an Africa-wide opportunity to be able to look at how will we leverage on medical tourism, which we know that residents of our countries do travel to different distant countries in the pursuit of quality healthcare. How do we ensure that we leverage that market and provide those much-needed services even in this work? And so looking at how we can clarify and express to government what our priorities are, and also what we bring to the table in terms of the solutions that we bring to the challenges that government that may be facing in doing the work to provide the services. So for me, I see the East Africa Health Federation as providing a platform for us in these 2 days to clarify what our proposals are, and also to clarify the solutions that we'll be seeking to offer to the market. And I really wish you a great success in the deliberations of the day. Thank you very much.
The East Africa Healthcare Federation currently ongoing, and of course it will be of interest to us what Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki will have to say, because she's the chief guest in that particular event.
All right, for now, we'll be taking you to what's happening in Kisumu. Now, remember, Baraka Karama was following a story where Kisumu Swan Center had been earmarked for demolition. Of course, he told us about that particular story, and he'll be giving us details regarding what is happening now as we speak in Kisumu County. Once again, a very good morning to you, Baraka Karama. What exactly do you have for us right now?
Shiksha, remember in the morning we covered a story, rather a very sad story, where the residents of Kisumu County were complaining about that particular mall that has been earmarked for demolition, the Swan Center Mall. And of course, it was a very good, bad news to the traders and the business community after the officials of the National Youth Services yesterday visited that particular premise, digging holes to fence that particular premise. And of course, we've seen traders, the businessmen, and of course, those who are occupying that particular office vacating to seek for alternative places. But right now, it's rather a good news for the people of Kisumu town. Actually, where I'm standing is one area that used to be famous, the famous Kachok dump site. This place had turned to be an eyesore. Remember, this place actually in the background, as you can see, was one of the dump sites that, of course, has been here for quite a number of decades, over 3 decades to be precise. And the county government of Kisumu had made that effort to relocate this particular dump site to Kajulu. And of course, as you can see from the background now, this is what remains of the Kachok dump site. Actually, it has been cleared by the county government of Kisumu. A good news to the people of Kisumu who say that this was long overdue. Actually, the Kachok dump site is just next to the Kisumu Moi Stadium. And of course, the sports fraternity has been complaining, saying that for quite some time they have been able to hold various matches here due to the condition and the state of this particular dump site. Just allow me to take reactions from a cross-section of residents on what they feel about this particular move by the county government of Kisumu to relocate this dump site. Actually, the city manager for Kisumu City, Doris Ombara, did say that they're planning to fence this particular area and turn it to a recreational center. Actually, they say that come in 2 months' time, this place will be one of the recreational center in Kisumu. Just welcome, of course. So we want just to take views and reactions from a cross-section of residents as far as it's concerned. Mama, habari yako? Tuambie maoni yako hapa dump site ya Kachok. Naona tayari mambo imekwisha.
Kwanza tunashukuru Mungu sana kwa wema wake ambao amepatia gavana wetu pamoja na wasaidizi wake wote. Hapa kulikuwa mahala pa kutupa takataka. Na ikifika mahali kama jioni, uoga ilikuwa hapa sana kupita. Na tumeshukuru sana kwa kasi inaendelea. Ngao wenzetu wengi mahala kwingine wamepoteza biashara, na tunaomba governor aweze kuwasaidia kwa kuwatafutia mahala ambao wataweza kupata chakula ili walishe jamii zao. Na hapa tunashukuru sana. Na wale watoto ambao vijana walikuwa wanafanya kazi hapa, tunaomba governor wetu, au watoto sio wajinga, ni watoto werevu sana. Wasaidiwe, waingishwe hata vocationals. They are very, very, very clever. Usione mtu akirogota takataka ufikirie ni mjinga. These are our future ministers. So governor also saidia watoto wako hapa, na pia tunashukuru kwa mipango mko mbeleni ambao ya kutengeneza hapa ikuwe mahala ambao pa kusaidia watu wengine. Tunashukuru sana na Mungu asidi kuwabariki. Amen.
Let me just take a reaction from one of the soccer players here. Your reaction, Kisumu Moi Stadium is just next to this particular area, the famous Kachok dam site. Yeah. It has been relocated. What is your comment about that?
I'm Walter Omondi from Kisumu All Stars. Yeah, we have been having that kind of problem from the dam side, the smell, yes, while we are training. Yes. It's a good job done, and we give thanks to Governor, yes, for doing that job. So what I can say is that we have some young boys here, yes, and they took this place like their home. Yes. So as I was trying to tell, I'll pass the message to the Governor. Yes. Please just try and create job for them or something to do. They are very bright and good people. They reason. Okay. So they are really crying about the place. Okay. So they don't have place to go or live. So. Yeah, I give thanks for the job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like you've heard from a cross-section of residents from Kisumu and the players who come here on a daily basis to train. Of course, it's a good news for them, for the county government of Kisumu to relocate this particular dam site. Like I say, it has been an eyesore in Kisumu. Remember, it is situated within Nyalenda area along the main Kisumu-Nairobi highway. And of course, the smell here was very much uncomfortable to the visitors and, of course, the residents of Kisumu. And like I mentioned, the city manager has already said that they will develop this place to be a recreational center in Kisumu. So it's a good news for the people of Kisumu as far as the relocation of this particular dam site is concerned. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Baraka Karama. Of course, that is the Kachok dam site being relocated, and a job well done according to the residents there. They've said that it was really causing a lot of implications when it comes to health, as well as just the pollution in the area. The smell, it was making it unbearable for residents and visitors in the area that is in Kisumu County. And now we know that work is being done. Good work indeed.
Garbage management in Kisumu, Kachok area to be precise, has been quite an issue, but for now we can see an update is coming in as far as that particular story is concerned. Now we've got two things that we need to run by you before we take a break. The first are the images you get there on your screen. The president has officially arrived in Mombasa for the official opening of the ASK show, Mombasa edition. And of course, we'll be seeing a lot coming forth from this particular venue. And it seems that Mombasa is really, you know,
buzzing with activity.
Absolutely buzzing with activity, because even next month, the president will be heading back there for the celebrations of Mashujaa Day. But for now, it's all about the ASK show. And as you can see, we've got Cabinet Secretary Tourism right there. That is Najib Balala. We can see Mombasa County Governor. That is Ali Hassan Joho. So we will keep briefing you in as far as what will be happening from Mombasa is concerned. However, for now, Shiksha,
it's time for a short break. We'll be right back in just a bit with a lot more. Stay tuned.